Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Million Dollar Body Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Nate. This is the intersection of physical and financial success. If you're here, it's probably because you're a high performer, an entrepreneur, a business owner, or a busy professional that's interested in gaining an unfair advantage in your own life. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, definitely go to n8trainingsystems.com/group. That's where you stream these podcast episodes every Tuesday. You can join in and ask questions. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in the group, as well as a massive amount of free resources. During July, it's my birthday month. Leo season, baby. Okay, my birthday's on the 31st of July, which makes July, the entire month of July, basically my birthday. And what we've been doing to kind of celebrate that is I was trying to give away as many copies of my Million Dollar Body Method book as possible to members of the community. So if you're in the community, if you're watching this, or if you're not in the community and you're like, give me a copy of that, jump into the community and make sure I just shoot me a DM or drop a note on this that just says book, and I will get you that book. No stress at all. It's my birthday present to you, but like it's it's kind of like my birthday, and I don't want anyone to forget that it's my birthday, because of the large ego, that sort of thing. Anyways, go to n8trainingsystems.com/group to join us there if you're not already in. If you're already in the group and watching live, super excited because today we're talking about 6 very, very common things or habits that people do that block your fat loss, that completely stop fat loss, and how we can get over those right now. So if you're in here, you're checking it out already, drop us a note, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're excited because we're diving in. Before we get started, one of the things we like to do in the community, I'd like to chat a little or tell you a little bit about the successes that people are having. So I want to give a shout out right now to Kimberly. Kimberly has been working with us in the Million Dollar Body program for about 3 months, and she's down 28 pounds. And most importantly, she told me that her energy feels amazing and she's not having any crashes in the afternoon. And then I was like, well, how's the diet? How do you feel about it? Is it sustainable? And she goes, honestly, it doesn't even feel like a diet to me. It just feels like how I eat now. And this is a sentiment that I just love so much because, as you're going to see in the podcast, as we dive into these 6 habits, one of the things that's so important is sustainability. So if you can find a program that works for you, that works for your life, and you can do long-term, so the point of you don't have to, if you eat a bagel or have a beer with some friends, it's not going to completely derail you. That's clutch. I want to give another shout out to Cameron Call. Cameron has been in Disneyland the last couple of days for his birthday, just living his life. And what he was doing was a churro tour there. And it was such a great example of just planning to have a great time, choosing to make these choices, and then getting right back into it. So Cam, you're doing an amazing job. I know you've dropped 10, 15 pounds, but also the sustainability aspect and what's working for you is so inspiring to see. All right, with all that said, let's get into this. The 6 biggest habits blocking your fat loss. And I'm going to start off with one that doesn't get talked about a lot and may be a little bit not PC. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but one huge habit that I see from people that's completely blocking their fat loss is anxiety, is having anxiety, is being a little bit preoccupied or very, very focused on the minutia. Okay. And I see this a lot with people who tend to be type A. So I don't know if anyone in this group is type A at all, any business owners or entrepreneurs. You guys are not really the most relaxed type. So I don't want to tell you that you need to not have anxiety. If you have mental illness, you need to stop having that. Are you better yet? Because I know that's not how it works. But when we start having anxiety about our training, our nutrition, our compliance, and we start getting very, very focused on well, did I get enough sodium today? Am I having too much, or does this one have a little bit too much, or am I get should I have any broccoli, or is this cauliflower, or how do I get enough? Make sure I'm getting enough chromium in my diet. That's when we can start to spiral. Okay, and I think that a lot of times, if we're type A, if you own a business, if you built a business, if you have a side hustle, if you are somehow involved in the upper echelon of your company, we have the tendency to be we're go-getters. We get things done. We see a plan, we see a problem, we execute on those things. So when it comes time to do work on our fitness, our nutrition, it's easy to go all in and be I need to have everything outlined. I need to have perfect this. Yeah, the ideal training program. But this is one of the areas in life when I think that more is not necessarily better. Consistent is better. like stable is better. And being able to have a program that you can do consistently that's giving you good results, awesome. You don't need to have every little, like you don't need to be like focused on how many times you're hitting your rear delts or what the volume looks like on the short head of your tricep every single week. Especially when you're getting started, when you're kicking this off, like if you're advanced, if you've been lifting for a long time and you're like, man, I would love to like work on like the peak of my biceps or work on like, my hamstring glute tie-in. Okay, great. I love that for you. I love that journey for you. I'm just excited. But if you're just starting off, you don't like, there's no reason for you to be thinking about those things. And there's no payoff for you to be thinking about those things. Most of the time, the people that I talk to who are so type A, they want to go all and they want to know exactly every step. What am I doing this month? What am I doing next month? What am I doing in 3 months? Those are the people who don't succeed long-term because one little thing happens and it's derailed and they go, fuck this. It's not working. It's not like, it's going to work. And then they get all upset. And we can really like get away from that by reducing the level of focus on the minutia that we have. Really, the Pareto Principle is extremely important, the 80-20 rule. Okay, if you're hitting nutrition and you're training 80% of the time and 20% of the time you're going on walks or maybe you have you had a cookie last night, like those things are going to be totally fine because if you can do that consistently for the rest of your life, like you're going to be feeling and looking better than 97% of everyone else in the world. So consistency trumps like minutia, and progress always trumps perfection. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like you need to know all the little facts, I would just encourage you right now, just like take a deep breath and kind of let go of some of those things because for the most part, they don't serve you. And like, I can tell you this from personal experience where I was hyper-focused on the minutia. I can tell you from client experience where people who have been in that way, that focused, that like a little bit more anxious, have not succeeded long-term. But I can also tell you like in terms of like, when I started a company called Bod in a Box, it was a hit home gym, help people out. Like I had a TRX, like sliders, bands, workout programs and stuff like that. And I was busy. I was working like 20, 25 hours a week on this company, as well as my other stuff that I was doing. And one week I was like, man, I'm feeling just so like anxious and burnt out on this. And I was looking at my to-do list and it was long. And I'll show you my to-do list right now. It's like, it looks like it's pretty good still. It's like that. I got some stuff on here, but for the most part, it's these things that I'm doing on a weekly basis. Whereas like one of these whole pages was a day in my life. And so what I found that is like one day I was just like, forget this. I don't think that these are even like moving the needle for me. And I took all these things that were costing me so much mental and emotional and energy as well as my time. And I literally just stopped doing anything for Bod in a Box. And you know what happened? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. My finances stayed the same. The level of client results I was getting stayed the same. Everything was just fine when I started letting go of what I thought I should do and what I needed to focus on, and just instead let like the important things kind of come to the surface. So if you're in that place where you're like stressing about these sorts of things, take a breath, take a second, and then let's reanalyze what's actually important to you. So number one of the biggest habits is over-stressing, being over-anxious, by being over-focused on the minutia, okay? All right, here's a number two, and this is a common one, and like I talked about this on the last podcast and like 2 podcasts before that, so I've said this before. I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but one thing that's blocking your fat loss is you're not having enough water. Amber brought this up in the group, so thanks, Amber. So when you don't drink enough water, here's kind of what happens. Your energy drops, you lose focus, your risk of stroke increases, you get crankier, you get hungrier because your body needs water, and it's like, I'm gonna send some water signals, but most of the time we don't have the great relationship with the signals that are being sent to our brain. So we interpret those thirst signals as hunger signals, so we overeat. Your metabolism decreases. This is crazy. This was crazy to me. I was doing a little bit of research. There's a study that showed that 16 or 17 ounces of water can literally increase your metabolism, like in the moment, by up to about 30%. The researchers in this study that I read estimated that increasing your water intake by like 1.5 liters per day, which is like 32 ounces, 40 ounces per day. Increasing your current water intake by that would burn an extra 17,400 calories over the course of the year. That's about 5 pounds, okay? So you can burn more fat, you can lose more fat simply by drinking another 6 cups of water per day. And I know the people are like, oh, it's like your weight divided by your height divided by the square root of the circumference of the globe that's closest to you. And you're like, well, I don't know. It's like, tell me a number. Drink a gallon of water. Drink a gallon of water a day. If you live in Arizona, drink 2 gallons of water. And yeah, that's a lot, and that's oversimplified, but try to get there, and you'll feel way better even if you don't hit quite the 2 gallon mark. Okay, so this is important. It's super, super clutch there. Okay, here's other things that happen when you don't drink enough water. You're going to get headaches. Your skin gets worse. That doesn't have to do anything to do with fat loss, but it does make you feel good and confident, which is important. Your kidneys stop working well. And again, like, you can't process out fat if your kidneys aren't functioning. And then also for the guys who are listening right now, easiest, like if you start like feeling like, oh, I can't quite get it up anymore, that's a symptom. There. Like, not drinking enough water can lead to erectile dysfunction. So y'all, especially guys, drink that water. And it's hot, drink more water. Get at least one of these in the morning. 32 ounces of water every single morning without fail is going to start your day off with a big win. Okay. Number 3, the third habit. And again, this is just like, if there's just picture dead horse, baseball bat, I'm getting after that dead horse right now. Number 3, it's not sleeping enough. Okay. Sleep is when you burn all your fat. Okay? You don't burn it on the Stairmaster of the gym. You don't burn it during your HIIT class. You burn it when you're breathing out moist air at night. It also helps your body restore itself. Obviously, you know this. But when you're tired and you don't sleep well, your body looks for energy in the next best way. Food, right? Plus, George Patton said it best. He said, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I know for a fact when I wake up, and I woke up with a baby, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., and just didn't get a lot of sleep, I'm hungry that day. I'm always hungry. I'm looking for snacks. And the things that I'm hungry for aren't like, ooh, I could go for a real nice chicken breast and arugula salad. I'm like, yo, do you have any Oreos? Is there any popsicles in the fridge right now? Because like, I need a popsicle. And like, that's where I'm going for, because my body's like, hey, let's get some quick energy. It knows sugar is going to be quick energy. So it's going to send me cravings for sweets, things that are high carb, high calorie. And it's not going to be like here, have some really nice leafy greens, get some roasted broccoli. That's never what we're going to go to. Okay. There's the director of sleep out in an institute in California named Susan Zaffer Tofi. Sorry, Susan, if you're listening to this, I'm very sorry for butchering your last name. She said it best. She said, sleep debt is like credit card debt. If you keep accumulating credit card debt, you're going to pay high interest rates, or your account's going to get shut down until you pay it all off. If you accumulate too much sleep debt, your body will crash. And like, not getting enough sleep is common. You know, in the US, we're proud of that. We're like, yeah, I only slept 3 hours last night. And then someone's like, oh, you slept 3 hours? Must be nice. I only got 2 1/4. And someone's like, I haven't slept in 3 days. You know, we're like, whoa, hustle. Very good. You know, and we're proud of it because we have this like grind mentality. But we pay a high price for staying up late and getting up early and not sleeping well at night. On average, humans need about 7.5 hours of quality sleep a night. Most of the time that translates to being in bed for about 8.5 hours. If you're getting 7.5 hours already, congratulations, you're crushing it, and I love you. If you add on some sleep today, you're already getting 7.5, you add on some sleep, it's not going to make a big difference. But if you go from 5 hours to 7.5 hours, you will probably drop about 10 pounds in the first 2 months or so, without changing anything else, without changing your eating habits, without changing your cardio habits or anything else like that, just by sleeping more. Okay, and I know this, there's been studies on this, but I've also seen it. I had a couple clients in Seattle who were a part of a startup, and they were getting ready to go live, or they just gotten bought out, or something was happening with the company where they were doing just long days, 16, 18, 20-hour days at the office in preparation for this event. And he came into the gym. He's like, I just need to move. I just need to get some of this weight off. And we worked out for 2 months, 3 months during this time. And he'd come in kind of in the middle of the day, whenever he was taking lunch, he would just come in and do his workout. And his weight stagnant. And he tracked his food and he was measuring his water. That's why, like, like calories in versus calories out, like you need to have less inputs than outputs. We know this from a scientific perspective. There's more to it. There's more to the story. Because if your hormones are out of whack, you're not sleeping, you're just not gonna lose weight. Okay. It's not gonna happen. You're going to feel like shit all the time. And then also, like, even if you are eating really well and eating healthy and tracking, you're going to be craving sweets, you're going to be craving alcohol, you're going to be craving things that are unhealthy and that are going to keep you farther away from your goals. So just keep that in mind. So like long story medium, I guess. After the company launched or sold or whatever it was, he took like 2 weeks off, he went on vacation, came back, and then he was like, I don't have a job anymore. I'm just living my life. And we were just training. And he's like, I just want to get in the best shape of my life. And his progress was incredible. He was working out again, kind of the same amount of time, doing a little bit extra cardio, eating similar way. But like the weight he was dropping was like 4 pounds per week. It was so fast. And this is for someone who like didn't have a lot to lose. So sleep, incredibly important. And you know this, and I know this, and we've talked about it before. You and I, we've talked about this. So I want to make sure that this is not a problem that we've talked about again next year. This is something that, like, I'm trying to give you the answers to it. And if you don't, and if next year we run into each other and you haven't taken me up on these things, I'm going to feel sad. You're going to feel like an asshole. So let's get it done right now. Number 4, fourth habit that's keeping fat on is not tracking random foods, sauces, and snacks. And a lot of people in the group brought this up when I asked. Jeremy, Tennille, Sarah, Chris, all you guys, I really appreciate your input. Because most of the time, like, when's the last time you measured out your ketchup? When was the last time that ever happened? Most of us probably never. We probably never measured ketchup. And we may have measured like a scoop of peanut butter one time and been like, all right, good to go. But what we end up doing is we end up with like 300 calories of sauces, 300 calories of snacks over here. Most snacks end up being between 200 and 300 calories. And most people have between 1 and 2 of those a day. Okay. So over the course of a year, like 300 calories is not that big of a deal. Having a little snack here, like most of these like snack packs are kind of like try to keep it under 300. But if you add that up, if you have a snack every single day, it's 300 calories for the rest, and like only one snack for the rest of the year, you're going to, over the course of 365 days, you're going to that's going to add up to 109,000 calories or 31 pounds. Okay. Something so simple like this is going to add up over and over and over again. Okay. And this is why that people gain weight in their 20s and 30s is because our activity level goes down and our consumption level goes up. And like, if we could just keep the activity level up, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But since our activity level goes down, we're sitting at desks, we have kids now, it's harder and harder. So when we're snacking just digs this hole deeper and deeper and deeper. It's very hard to get out of. And snacking not only is rough for fat loss, but snacking also kills your energy, kills your libido, kills your mood. Because when you're digesting food, you're pulling blood from your brain and your appendages and ditching your energy, ditching your focus in order to digest. Most of us don't need a snack. Most of us have eaten recently. So to like be like, oh, I'm feeling a little hungry, I need a snack. That's not accurate. You're probably not listening to your body the correct way. What you probably need, a bit more water in your life. And for the most part, whenever like we feel that snacking sensation come on and we go drink a big glass of water, that sensation will pass. It's most of the time it's a thirst sensation. So if you can just switch one thing and stop snacking and turn up the water intake, you'll be getting 2 birds stoned at once or whatever. And then the last thing is like check your sauces. Like make sure that you're not getting like the ketchup with a ton of sugar. Check your peanut butter. A lot of these things can add up really quickly. So you get a little mayo here, a little oil there, a pat of butter on this, a little bit of like ketchup. That's like another 300, 400 calories right there, just in sauces and random stuff that you're not even tracking. So keep in mind that when you're like, I've tried everything. Have you tried cutting out sauces? Have you tried measuring them? Because what gets measured gets managed. And then the last thing I'll say about that is that once again, this solidifies hot sauce's ascendancy as the best sauce in the entire world. And it's not even something you can argue with. It's just a fact. Most hot sauces are vinegar based. They're going to be 0 calories. They're going to be nice and spicy, and they're just better. They're just superior. The hot sauce is the superior sauce. And if you have a problem with that, you can shoot me an email about it. Number 5, drink in your calories. Alcohol, juices, soda add up to a ton of calories. I had a client when I was working in Seattle. This is kind of the Seattle episode. He was super skinny, and he wasn't shy about how much he drank. He partied all the time, go out on weekends and stuff like that. But when it ended up coming out, he was drinking literally 7 nights per week. And so I was like, man, what's going on with you? How's everything going? And it turns out he didn't eat any food. He would have snacky foods here and there, ate a lot of French fries, but all of his calories were coming from alcohol. And so even though this guy was pretty skinny, he still felt like shit. He still had the pooch, just a belly, no muscle tone at all, soft, and zero energy. Just felt bad, looked bad, just couldn't even though he was skinny and within the BMI range and his weight was right where the doctors wanted it, he just never looked or felt good because he was drinking so much. So alcohol is yes, you can have alcohol. I like drinking it just as much as most people. I will probably have some this weekend. Like I said, it's my birthday, in case you didn't catch that part. Think about it. So probably been drinking a little bit of alcohol, but if you're in a fat loss or muscle gain phase and you're very serious about getting those results, the more you can eliminate that, the better. The other thing is juices and soda, those things add up and there's really no nutritional value to them whatsoever. So people are well, you shouldn't eat Diet Coke or whatever, this and that because of the chemicals. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care about that. I look at things from a kind of an energy and a physique perspective, and then a health kind of as a tertiary thing. And yeah, I know they're all inexorably linked, but there's not a lot of data to show that diet soda is causing insulin resistance or heart attacks and something like that. So will it probably kill us? Yes, if our cell phones don't get us first. But I know for a fact that the more sugar you have, the more sugar from juices and the less water you're drinking, that will kill you a lot faster. So if someone's I've switched from Coke to Diet Coke, go ahead. Great choice. Keep it up. Keep making better choices. Okay. And eventually, hopefully that person switches from Diet Coke to water, but I'll take that any day of the week. So ditch those high sugar drinks because literally they're doing zero for you. And and most drinks, guys, most sodas aren't good. They're not that good. They're sweet and they hit the pleasure centers in our brain really well because the way the food scientists made them, but they got no staying power. You don't look back and go, ooh, I had a really great Coke 2 days ago. No one does that. It's just masturbation. Drinking a Coke is masturbation. And because all you're doing is you're scratching an itch in the moment and then, hiding in shame afterwards. So it's I'm gonna have that made on shirts. Drinking Coke is masturbation. You can buy one now. Buy it for my birthday. I don't have anything else to say about that. Okay, number 6, last one. Deprivation, caloric deprivation, and then binging. Courtney Zufeld brought this up. That was a really good one. So just picking a program that's not sustainable. Okay, for me, this is keto. I rage about keto pretty much nonstop. Caloric deprivation. For a long time, it's if it fits your macros. And then, by the way, if you're a guy, you get to eat 1,500 calories. And if you're a lady, you get to eat 1,200 calories. And that's it. And so we had these unrealistic views. So people would eat 1,200 calories. They would get results. And then lo and behold, when they stopped eating 1,200 calories, stopped restricting themselves to tilapia and broccoli all the goddamn time, the weight came right back. And I saw this very, very clearly when I was working with people who were training for physique or fitness shows. Because I really feel the show should really be decided by how you look day of, and then also how do you look 6 months later? How do you look and feel? Because most of the time, people are doing these extreme measures to get this really ripped, chiseled look that you see on stage, that you see in Instagram, you see on magazine covers. They're doing all these extreme measures, extreme cardio, extreme caloric restriction, extreme just deprivation in a lot of ways. And then what happens? They drop, but you cannot sustain that. Your body doesn't want you to. It's not a way that is life-giving. It's life-taking. And so you rebound, right? And this could be over the course of a show where it's a couple months, or this could be a week where you're I'm doing it, I'm doing everything. Going back to that anxiety, majoring in the minors, being obsessed with the minutia, doing the most, and then being on the weekends, binging, and then the week doing the most, and then binging on the weekends. And that's for most of us what it looks like is the binge on the weekends, not necessarily the binge every 4 months. But either way, if you are using a diet that is so restrictive that it doesn't allow you to have any foods that kind of exist on the dirty spectrum, if people are telling you it's hey, you have a clean food or a dirty food, then you're not on a sustainable program. So if your program tells you that there are no bagels allowed or no tacos allowed for the rest of your life, you're on the wrong program, hon. I love you and I want you to know this. You're on the wrong program. So that's what I loved about what clients are saying about the $1 Million Body Program, like I mentioned earlier, is that it's sustainable. It doesn't feel like a diet. It feels just like how I eat. Okay. And so if you're interested in that, if you're like, okay, I've tried so many things and nothing's stuck. Yeah, I've lost weight. Yeah, I've done these things, but I always felt worse afterwards. I always brought my weight back on. Drop me a quick note. Shoot me an email, Nate@NA Training Systems. Drop me a note on here. Just say, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for something new. And if you put that there, I'll reach out. I'll give you kind of some info. And if you're ready, if you want to check out the book, I'll send you the book. Doesn't matter. I want to help out. The goal of this community is and always will be to see everyone in this community empowered to be in better shape, have more fitness, and have more financial success. I'm not a business coach. I'm not helping you with your finances. I'm not a finance coach. But I can tell you for a fact that people who are fit, who have more energy and more confidence, make more money, period. So if I can help you out with that, drop me a note. I'd love to help. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the $1 Million Body Podcast. If you have any questions at all, if there's anything I can help out with, please let me know. Drop me a note, Nate@NA Training Systems, or jump into the group, natrainingsystems.com/group. We'll get you there. I'd love to give you a free copy of the book. That's one way that I can help you out for free today, right now. So let me know if there's anything like that. Or if you want to see a copy of a meal plan, a sample meal plan, day in the life, all you got to do is send me a note either here on the actual Facebook Live if you're watching in the group, just say meal plan, or shoot me an email with meal plan in the subject line, and I'll get that for you. Be blessed, y'all. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you very soon.